Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and this time we're going to look at a game called Exed Exes. Yeah, pretty stupid name for a game, but this was created by Capcom in 1985, and it's a vertically scrolling shooter. This was suggested by YouTube user Martin Hernandez. This game is also known as Savage Bees, at least that's what it was called in the US, and it was licensed to Memetron. But it's really Exed Exes. There's really no difference between Exed Exes and the Savage Bees, as far as I know. But this came complete with a number of things that were seen in other Capcom games around the time. And the name Exed Exes also shows up in the high score list of other Capcom games. But the little things that you see in this game were present in other Capcom games, little hidden things. Dragonflies. From what I'd heard, if you destroy the first few waves of enemies in the game without missing any, then you get to see an appearance by the Dragonflies, and they're like 10,000 points each. There are power-ups. One of them is just a regular power sign, and the power sign by itself will turn all the enemies into fruits. And Savage Bees is really a much more fitting name than Exed Exes. I don't know where they got that name, but you can shoot both ground and flying targets. The ground targets take a number of shots, but if you see a POW, just the letters POW by themselves, then you can turn the enemies into fruits by touching it and then collect the fruits. If you see POW on a red circle, then that'll give you a slight weapon up. Your weapons will be stronger, or your shots will be stronger, and they might shoot further. And once in a while, you'll uncover these enemies, or you'll find these enemies that will just appear for a short while and then disappear. And if you shoot them all, you get a bonus. A number of enemy formations that'll appear, you'll get a bonus if you shoot them all. But the bees don't matter. Once in a while, you'll get a big enemy that'll be worth a lot more points. You can fly all over the screen. You can fly way up to the top if you need to, and don't forget that, because you'll need to on occasions to circumvent the enemy's fire. Now we go to what's called a high point area. We'll sometimes see a lot of skulls, but there will be chances to get the POWs and turn the enemies into fruits. And if you shoot the enemies enough, they're worth 500 points, whether they're fruits or not. Sometimes you'll be able to collect that POW when there's one of those big enemies that takes a lot of shots, and then they'll yield a giant fruit that's worth a lot of points. Now, this game is sometimes very, very forgiving in collision detection, as in you might run into an enemy and it'll be alright, you'll still survive. I've noticed that. And that's especially true when there's another power-up. And I promptly lost it. Good job. See those white stars at the bottom? Those are smart bombs, but the smart bombs are very weak. Only the weeniest of enemies will be destroyed by it. And did you see that there were and you can sometimes destroy the enemy's shots. Here is a boss, and it's this giant floating fortress type of thing, and you need to shoot each cannon or target on it. Oops, there was a lemon I could have collected for points. But you need to shoot each target on it enough to destroy it. And I've just got that one skull left. And I got it. And it says some congratulatory message like, nice fight. Now I'm on to round 2. The game is endless. I think it goes up to round 8 or 9, and then it stops saying what round is next, but you just keep going. You can continue, and yeah, like I said, the smart bomb is super weak. It's really not worth having. You get another one when you beat a full level. But don't forget that you can fly all over the screen, way up to the top, everywhere. Do that to circumvent the enemy's fire. But yeah, this game has an interesting fruit motif in when you collect that POW. And then you can, then you can turn the enemies into fruit. Once in a while, you'll encounter a backwards POW thing that's on the red circle. That will turn your weapon back to wussy. More fruits, and there I collected a banana. And there I died, and now you get to continue if you like. Infinite continues from where you died. That'll restore your smart bombs. There I destroyed another, I guess you could call him a sub-boss because he takes a lot of hits. And then there's another power-up. How long will I hold on to this? It seems that your shots travel further and they're a lot stronger when you get the power-up. And you get a bonus of 1,000 points if you clear out a whole group of those enemies that appear out of thin air. There I lost it. You'll definitely notice the difference when you lose the power-up. When the enemies come from behind to attack, that's really when the computer, or when the game gives you a break in terms of collision detection. Ah, crap. There was my POW, and I'm not going to be able to collect it. Crap. At least I got the power up. And don't forget that the smart bombs, even if they're really weak, and there's the Shichis, they're an enemy in this game. A common Capcom thing that shows up in a lot of Capcom games. Usually it's beneficial. Here it's an enemy. And there's the next boss. Sometimes if you shoot that sensor in the middle, it'll turn into a fruit. Yeah, even these bees don't get destroyed by the smart bomb. And we're on to round 3. Yeah, there's some sort of congratulatory message that shows once you beat the boss. Good job, or well done, or yatai, which is like you did it, or something like that in Japanese. There's the mini bosses again. What I've kind of learned, even though I'm not great at shooters by any means, is that once you get a feel for where your character is, your ship or whatever that you're controlling, you can take your eyes off it, kind of, and you can just look for the enemy's shots and then move yourself to where the shots are not there. It takes a while to get used to, but you can do pretty well on shooters when you're able to do that. And again, the enemies that come from behind, the game is very forgiving in collision detection. There's a white star, and I caught it. That is also in a lot of Capcom games, a white star. And here I think it appears when you reach a certain score. I think. Maybe it appeared because I shot in a certain area. I don't know for certain. But there's little hidden things like that. There's the backwards POW. Don't pick it up, even though it's worth, I think, 10,000 points. But it's not good because it downgrades your weapon. Ah, now the enemies turn into grapes. And if you shoot the ground targets, they might turn into a fruit when you're in this little part of the stage. But most of the flying enemies just take one hit to kill. Those ground ones take more shots. This isn't a terrible shooter by any means. It's okay. I think it shows up in some of the Capcom Classics type of collections. There's more fruits to collect once you get that POW symbol. And more deadly Yashichis. Oops, I died. And there's that star. Will I get it? Yep. Yeah, ow, I got clumsy here. Do not forget that you can fly all over the screen. Ah, shit! And do it to avoid the enemies. And using your smart bombs is not, damn it, is not going to do much damage on the enemies at all. But it can be useful. There it says yatai in Japanese. But using the smart bombs can be useful in destroying the enemy's shots. So don't forget that. Yeah, I don't know where they got the name Exed Exes. It's pretty stupid. But again, it's known in the US as Savage Bees. But the games are the same. And it was created by Capcom. Yeah, this isn't the first game by Capcom, but it's one of its first, probably one of its first 10 games or so. First game by Capcom was called Sun. I'm not going to continue anymore. And shortly after that was 1984, super classic Capcom game. That was Exed Exes by Capcom, and known in the US as Savage Bees in 1985. And weird, you can put in colors as your initials if you want. But that was Exed Exes by Capcom in 1985, also known as Savage Bees in the US. Yeah, it gets to be better as you play it more. I think the music is kind of repetitive. But it's nice to be able to fly all over the playing field, and there, yeah, you can turn the mini-boss into a giant fruit if you pick up a POW while it's on the screen. But that was Exed Exes by Capcom in 1985, known as Savage Bees in the US, under the Mematron license. Well, this is Crazy Climber 80 saying thanks for watching Exed Exes by Capcom in 1985, also known as Savage Bees. I'll catch you later with another video. See ya, folks. Bye-bye.